I just received my newest order from Tamiya, and I'll talk about an upgrade to my SFM BMAX car. I received this today, and I forgot what I ordered, so we're going to find out. And first things first, though, let's talk about the upgrade to my car. So this is an ode to Shell Shock for his magnificent BMAX designs on his SFM, CFM cars. So he had basically turned me onto this new plate. It's not a new plate, but it's an old plate that he's been using in a lot of his cars. And it's the item number 15150, those plates that look like this. And yes, I decided to use this as my underguard plate right here on the front underguard. Yes. So as you can see, it's more of a rounded kind of bottom rather than the older flattened kind of bottom like you'll see in this picture. And yeah, the brakes are more like you basically apply them, attach them in a kind of a curved way rather than a less curved way. So here's the less curved way. Here's the original underguard. This is the SSX underguard plate. And this was where this plate was previously. Now, what are the advantages of this plate with a bump on it versus the old plate that I had here, which is kind of flatter without the bump in the center? Well, the center can absorb a lot of impact and distribute the force of impact across the entire front plate. Whereas here, there's no real protection. So the protection is based on what you have on top. So if you take a look at my old BMAX car here, it's like this was flat right here on the top, and it's relatively the same flatness here with this underguard. So here, if you look at the front of it, it's basically flat. So this might be a really good design in that the force of impact when this crashes will be distributed across the entire front, top, and bottom. However, I've seen Shell's designs, and he knows what he's doing, so I decided to try this. I decided to put this as the underguard for my BMAX car. And while he's got some elaborate system for mounting his rollers on there, I decided not to copy that. I like my roller design. So the only thing is I might try to get more down thrust in the front part here, so it's not that tilted downward, but that's okay because this has actually been running really well in BMAX races, so I'm not too concerned about that. That's why I basically mimicked it more or less on this one right here, where there's a slight down thrust, and looking at it now, it's like the same kind of down thrust as what I see on my old Red Hot car right here. So yeah, I might want to change it. I might want to use something like this. One of the items I found in my treasure trove of parts. So I have these things here, and this will give me either a 1, 2, or 3 degree angle down thrust. That's pretty cool. These are mystery pieces to me. I don't know how to tell the difference if they're 1, 2, or 3 degree down thrust. They both look the same here. I don't see any numbers on them. If there are numbers, they are not apparent to me just yet. So they were already removed from the original sprue tree. So yeah, I have no idea what the designation of these could be. They look pretty much identical. So if you could tell the difference between these two, please let me know. The top and the bottom one, yeah, I have no idea. I think they look basically the same. So yeah, I'm trying to show as much as I can from each. Yeah, so top or the bottom, I don't know. But I'll be looking at them from the side and seeing which gives me a better angle. And I'll just use the one with the better angle. And it might be this one. No, it might be the other one. So it's hard to tell with a 1 degree difference. But yeah, that's how it is. So yeah, then there's also the use of the underguards that go under the rollers. And I'm not so sure about those. Do you need both? Or can you just get away with just using the plate without the underguard rollers or the roller underguards? Don't know. We're going to experiment perhaps and find out. But I'm not like dissatisfied with this at all. I think that this turned out really well. I might actually lower this one here. This looks kind of high. So I might lower it a smidge because I do have like a long spacer tube and a very short spacer tube on top. And I know that if I shorten it, I'll probably get a much better roll on my rollers. Yeah, very cool. So that's it for that. And that's it for that. Now, without further ado, we are going to unbox this little box right here. Good things come in small packages, they say, right? So very, very cool. Oh, I just remembered one thing that I ordered. Yeah, so it's all coming back to me, but just one of those items. So yeah, you'll get to see what that item is. It's pretty cool. I've already used it in my Build a Better SFM BMAX car video series. So let's pop this open. As you see, every order from TamiyaUSA gets you this nicely packaged box with Tamiya tape on top. Yes, they package their things really well because they want you to have a good end user experience when you order from them. So it's worth ordering things from them if those things are available, if those things that you want are available. However, as many of you know, it's kind of hard to get certain products sometimes because they are sold out very quickly. And so it's frustrating at times because sometimes something will say, coming soon. And then the next day they'll have it up for order. And then suddenly it's like no longer available by the afternoon of that same day. So it's like very frustrating sometimes. So that's why I've learned to basically jump the gun by like checking every single day for a certain item that says coming soon. And when that item is available, then I go for it. And I try to get like a bunch of them. So yeah. And I don't order a lot of things. Like I don't order like 50 copies of something or even 10 copies of something. I usually get like 2 to 4 of the same item at most. And it's very rare that I get over 4 of the same item. And we're talking about parts now. So for kits, I rarely get more than 3 of the same kit. And the 3 that I got of the same kit was like a very special kit. I think it was a mock frame. But other than that, like I try to limit myself to 2 of the same kit. Because that's really all you need. You need 1 to build, to play, and you need 1 to collect for later. So that one that you collect for later, you might decide to sell it or trade it or give it away as a prize, or you might decide to use it as a backup for your existing car, just in case something goes dreadfully wrong. You might need to rebuild it again, and that's why we have like multiple Grokken guidance. So this is going to be my next full build, everybody. I'm going to build this in box stock format so that all of you can see what I do with my box stock kits. So yeah, it'll be a learning process for everybody who is interested in building box stock, very fast box stock car kits. So yeah, stay tuned for that video. It's coming up soon. So, as is customary with all Tamiya kits, they always fill the box with a good supply of packing peanuts. So these packing peanuts happen to be, I think they're the edible kinds, but they don't taste like anything. So they're like cheese doodles, but they don't taste like anything. So we're going to try to separate all of these from the rest of the packaging. I hope my dog doesn't get to any of the peanuts. That would be terrible. I don't know what they would do to him, probably nothing, but who knows, right? So the cleanliness of peanuts depends on the cleanliness of the place that the peanuts were from. So if these peanuts were in like a warehouse full of dust and chemicals and things, especially since this comes from California, there's like some sort of P65 warning or something like that. You can get cancer from stuff. So the thing is, like, California is very strict about that rule, and they'll say that, oh, you got to be careful about this cancer-causing agent that's floating around, but this cancer-causing agent is like exists in other states too. It's just they don't have the same policy. So it sounds scary. It sounds scarier than it actually is, and still, don't let your dog eat these peanuts, just in case, right? So that's an important thing. Don't let your dog eat things that he or she should not be eating. So very, very important, because if your dog does eat these things, your dog might throw up, and it'll be like a costly vet bill if you need to bring your dog to the vet. So yeah, that's my PSA announcement for the day. So let's see what we have here. Almost done removing all the peanuts. We'll get to the good stuff inside. Yes, still peanuts. And now, sorry, I'm trying to not have my hair brush against the microphone so that it doesn't crackle. Here's a little intro to what's inside. So let's take a look. Ooh. So the first things first. Ooh. The speed guide. The new speed guide. You know it's new because it's got, yes, the Ryzan, the ME chassis Ryzan right up front. And so I've collected their speed guides from the get-go, from the very beginning. And I have various colored speed guides. I think there was an orange one, now there's this red one. And yeah, the super speed guide or the speed guide is like, it gives you the so-called latest techniques. They're usually about a year old. Latest techniques for building various like gimmicks and also knowledge, Mini 4-wheel drive knowledge. So a lot of the things that you might have theories about, right? A lot of the physics of Mini 4-wheel drive that you might have theories about, it's probably explained in some way in these speed guides. Very, very cool. And one of the free things that you get in your speed guide is a very helpful device. It is a tool, that is. It is a measurement device, and it's usually made of plastic, and so it's durable. And yeah, very, very cool. If you were to get, I think, the other speed guide, the one that's like a magazine format, I think you get a paper version of this plastic one, I think. Or is it the other way around? We're going to find out, right? So why do I forget these things? So here we go. Now the cost of this speed guide is somewhere like, I think it's $23 or $26, but it's well worth it because if you can get like 1 or 2 tips out of this, then it's well worth the price of the book. So yeah, super speed guide or speed guide. So very, very cool. They wrapped it so nicely so that it's still in its like collectible form right here. And yeah, make sure that there's no dings on it, right? So that's very, very cool. Let's remove the tape so that it doesn't snag onto our book. Yeah. So one more piece of tape. And now let's unveil the speed guide. So I'm going to give you a first look at this for those of you who haven't seen this before. Okay, so that's the Ryzan. That's the measurement tool. And on the back, there is an example open class car. And this is likely a picture of an open class car that won some very important Mini 4-wheel drive event. So that's pretty cool. And usually they'll have like an interview with the winner of the last major Mini 4-wheel drive race. And they'll have like design tips on things in here too. And also they'll show like runners-up of the various championship races, and you'll see like designs that are really, really cool that you might want to copy. So very, very cool. So let's take a quick peek at the measurement tool to see if it's plastic or paper. Okay, so in the table of contents right here, it talks about this measurement tool right here. Now, I am going to show a full video on each and every page of this speed guide. So hold on to your hats, that's going to happen soon. Very, very cool. And here is the tool that I was referring to not long ago. This is made of plastic. And so yeah, very durable item right here. And it's got a lot of very interesting, cool measurements that you can use. For example, if you want to use that space in the center right there, you can use it to measure your cars. So your cars shouldn't be more than a certain length. So here it is, right? So you can fit it inside there. There's also things for height and width and things like that. All measured with this tool right here. Very useful tool. And there's also, I found that this is very, very useful too. So there are FRP plates that don't have labels on them. And so you can just match this, what I call the bat wing, onto here. And then you can find out which is the 13mm roller hole versus the 11 or the 19. Very, very useful. So yeah, this tool is included free inside this guide. And I think that's one of the reasons why this costs as much as it does. $23 to $26, something like that. So yeah, so I'm just thumbing through it right now. There's a catalog of all of your favorite modern minis, Mini 4-wheel drive cars in here. And let's see, yes, and then there's sections on, yes, building tips. Ooh, cool. With tools, right? And what tools you should use for these building tips. And then there's information on gears and motors and bearings, and then we move on to, ooh, there we go. I think this is the picture that we just saw in the back here. This is one of this looks like a Toon Class race car. So here it is, the one that we just saw on the back cover, and it gives you a rundown of everything that was used to build this car right here. this is an inventory list, everybody, on how to build this car. Very, very cool. We'll get to all of this in the video, the full-length video that I'll create by going through this guide page by page. So stay tuned for that. Very, very cool. So, very, very cool purchase. Now, in the goodie bag, yes, the rest of the package is here. There's nothing else in here. So let's take a look at what's inside this plastic bag. So here it's stapled shut, so things don't move around too much. Let me remove the staple. Let me dispose of the staple, and hopefully Doggy will not get to it. Okay. Here we go. So the first item that I ordered is two pairs of item number 95680, the HG aluminum wheels for small diameter narrow tires for 24 millimeter tires. Yes, very, very cool. New item. The second item I ordered, I bought two HG carbon brake stays. Item number 15550, HG carbon brake stay 1.5 millimeter. And these are the ones that are like, it's processed already, so you can use it in tune class. So this is typically something that open class racers would do with the tail plates, and they would just shave off the sides. And so here it is. Here it is shaved off for you. So now you can use this or utilize this in tune class races. Very cool. BMAX races. Very cool. And we have, oh, one more item, everybody. The famed item number 15149, the aluminum motor support. So here it is, everybody. Yes, same thing. They're all silver. I actually have a purple one somewhere. Yeah, very, very cool. Yes, and you will note that I had this time included the motor support in my new SFM BMAX car. So here it is. You can see it right here. It's lodged between the motor and the top part of the chassis, and this helps dissipate, like lower the amount of heat that the motor generates. It actually just takes the heat and transfers some of that heat throughout this metal part here so that the motor runs a little cooler than usual. So yeah, then you can get like the possibility of non-overheating your motor is a very important thing. You don't want to overheat your motors too much when you're racing. So yeah, this will keep the motors cooler. Very, very cool. So yes, cool. So everybody, if you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you. Bye.